Hello, my beautiful ladies and gentlemen. We are on the spotlight. Yes. My beautiful ladies on the Dharma Beauties and my beautiful gentlemen on the Tanzanite Heroes. Welcome, welcome. I'm truly excited to have the panel back today. Our small family is back today. So our spotlight author is beautiful Christa, and we are so excited to have her. So I will quickly ask everyone to quickly introduce themselves, and then Christa, you're going to read your book for us, the back and what you said you're going to do. And then we start off with the questions. Just wanted to let everyone know if I do disappear, yes, I'm a guest. Wow, we've got a guest. I'm going to bring in the guest now. If I do disappear, the beautiful panel will go on because our power is off for almost 5 hours and there's no more power. I do have battery power. Let me see, 23 minutes. So let me bring in Randy. Hello, beautiful Randy. Welcome, welcome. I don't know who's guest. You must just let me know. So, beautiful Randy, we will start with you. So, Laura, Krista, Buddy, and Howard, please quick introduce yourself. And then, please, Randy, if you can go last. And then we will go over to Krista for our beautiful reading of her synopsis of her book. Thank you. Laura?
Hello. Hi, Randy. Welcome to the tribe. This is such a great family to be a part of. Laura Brennan Ballet, author, speaker, coach on the science of empowerment. I specialize in thought energy. I'm all about quantum energy and how to use that connectivity to empower your life. I'm going to move along very quickly. Thank you. Nice to have you here.
Krista?
Okay, sorry, I didn't know who was next. So, hi, my name is Christa Rose, and I am completely honored to have been asked to be the clarity expert as I help you bring clarity in how to experience more fun, pleasure, and excitement in your life every day. So, not only am I an author, but I'm an international speaker and a coach. I have a background in nutrition and several other modalities, and I have just joined forces for bringing awareness to rare diseases, like one I have called Anti-GAD 65. Buddy?
Hi, everybody. This is Buddy Thornton from beautiful Santan Valley, Arizona, part of Phoenix. And I'm the author of the Slippery Slope series. I'm an author, international speaker. I've been in multiple countries as keynote speaker. I do a lot of different things, as I'm sure Howard can tell you. And my guest, Randy Blake, today, he's also my partner in a mental health awareness and suicide prevention program. So we'll let her fly.
I think that Sinette may be frozen, so I'll go next. I am Howard Brown. I am Mr. Shining Brightly, and I help struggling leaders that want to get back on track, because I too am a struggling leader. Oh, everyone's putting their shades on for me now. And I am the author of the best-selling memoir, Shining Brightly. I am an international speaker, podcaster, and yes, a 2-time stage 4 cancer survivor. And we are shining brightly here with you, Randy, today. Welcome as a guest, and with our most beautiful dancing queen, Sinette Van Breda. So thrilled to be here.
Awesome. That was a great introduction. Yeah, my name is Randy Blake Jr., 5-time world champion. My background is martial arts. I've been in it for 31 years, 5th degree black belt. I'm an author as well, international best-selling author. And as Buddy said, we're partnering in the mental health and suicide prevention. So
Nice. Beautiful work. Welcome. Welcome.
That is fantastic. So I think I will just jump right in. And so first, to introduce my book, it's called Skip the Pain, Experience the Pleasure. My tagline is cut the crap that's holding you back so you can live the life you love. I'm completely honored and so grateful for everybody who's listening and all my fans for supporting this book to become Amazon #1 best-selling book, which brought so much awareness to so many of the messages and so many of the diseases and so many of my insights. So I'm very grateful for that. I will read the back of the book to give you kind of a little bit of an idea. So it says, prepare to be swept off your feet by this jaw-dropping, heart-pounding book that will leave you on the edge of your seat. In this page-turner book, Christa will take you on a journey that will have you gasping in awe and rolling with laughter. Step into Christa's world as she unveils her secret formula for becoming resilient through the trials of life. Hold on tight as she bears her soul, revealing her deepest struggles and scars, a devastating car accident, becoming a widow at age 24, and battling a chronic illness. In her darkest moment, she found light of healing, and now she's hell-bent on helping you find your way through the shadows. Her approach to overcoming life's tragedies will inspire you on your own life path to self-awareness and purpose. You will learn that clinging to the past is like using a broken pencil, utterly pointless. If you're up for an adventure that will leave you breathless, laughing, and inspired, then this is a must-read book of your dreams. Don't just exist, live life to the fullest, and let Chris's story inspire you on your own journey. Come along on this journey to skip the pain, experience the pleasure. Because let's be honest, we only have one life to live, and who doesn't want to cut the crap that's holding them back so you can live the life you love? So thank you for letting me share that. And I know we're talking about reading one of the testimonials, and anybody who has a book or gets a book, there's a lot of testimonials in here from all over the world: Mongolia, Switzerland, Australia, United States, Canada. I can't even remember them all, and I'm so grateful for those. But I'll be honest, some of the ones that really touched my heart and brought me to tears is the ones that I've received personally. So I do get them. People say, I don't know if you really get this. I really do get them. It's messagekrista@gmail.com. And I want to share one of the ones that was sent to me. The rest are in the book, but some of these ones have been very heartfelt. So this one says, I barely remember the last time I read a book, but when Skip the Pain, Experience the Pleasure was given to me by a friend, I was intrigued. I can't believe I'm saying this, but your book has changed my life. Okay, I want to cry. Sorry. Something would come up and it would remind me of one of your insights. It has changed the way I see the world, myself, loved ones, and I focus on living the life I love. I thought I was happy, but I realized I wasn't living. I was existing, doing and acting on autopilot, and thought that meant happiness until I would collapse in bed and thought about all the things I had to do. I had no idea it wasn't bringing me closer to my goals, and I didn't even consider them. Thank you for being so vulnerable, even though I found myself actually laughing out loud, something I rarely do. The acronyms WAIT, hope, denial, and so many more have stuck with me. Friends and family noticed a difference, and I just hand them your book. All I can say is it's a guidebook on how to experience life, not just existing. Warm regards, Jack Xander. So, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
There we go.
Nice. Who would like to start with the questions? I usually go first, but we've got three wonderful gentlemen here. Oh,
I
buddy,
think Buddy's on mute.
you're on mute, buddy.
When I read your book, Krista, first of all, as someone who's been married 50 years with many kids, grandkids, and great grandkids, I could just see so much of your life in the life that we've experienced with a big family. But what really amazed me was the way you were able to draw some very good concepts out of the air. So I'm going to ask you about one, and on my second question, I'm going to ask you about another one. But on the first one, you had an acronym in the book called HALT. Hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. Tell me how you can pivot from halt to be totally, totally energized.
That is fantastic. So again, halt. If you notice sometimes your energy and your feeling is off, I literally will say halt, and standing for, like Buddy said, hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. So what does that mean? What do I need? That's what I ask myself. What do I need? If I'm hungry, get something to eat. If I'm angry, let it out. Talk to somebody, write it out. If I'm lonely, I need to connect with someone. If I'm tired, take a nap, take a break. So that definitely is one of the ways I help pivot from my emotional state of usually being in this tight, angry, lonely, state, and I really need to know how to fulfill those needs. So
Nice.
how's that, Betty?
Mhm.
So you want me to go next, Laura?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, so there's a couple comments here. We've gotten amen, cut the crap, and live the life that you live the
You
life you
love.
live. I love your book, Krista. And then it says, I want to wait a lot. What am I thinking? What am I talking? Change my mindset to take action, and a pause. So there you're getting some feedback already, Krista. A lot of
Thank
love
you.
in the chat for you. So
Nice.
first of all, I have one immediate takeaway and then a question. I want to tell you that you honored Rob's memory. May his name and memory be for a blessing for all who knew and loved him. And listen, you, when you lose someone like that, I just wanted to call that out. And you did a beautiful job of being able to recognize that as a widow. And I know how hard it can be in the cancer world. We're losing people every day. So first of all, I want to do that. But what I really, when I finished the book, I closed it. And you and I are a lot alike. We've been through a lot. I would love your definition of resilience.
Oh my goodness, that's a fantastic question. So for me, I've learned that resilience isn't just about getting back up after things have happened. It's about surviving, even when you don't want to anymore. And when you continue surviving, that's when you find the courage, the energy, the help to get back up and become resilient. That's what resilience is to me.
Beautiful.
Nice. Beautiful.
Laura, you next, and then we'll go to
Yes,
Randy.
I am. So I don't even know which question I want to ask first. What I personally loved about this is because of the way I think and I write and I move through life, there's a lot of complexities to it. So when I read a book, every once in a while, I want to be removed from this mind. Your book, for me, I felt like I was taking a walk with a friend. It wasn't where I had to think and I had to dig my heels in and I had to like really work at anything. It was just this very lovely stroll with a friend. And I was listening to her techniques and her wisdom that she's gained as to how she empowered her life, which actually then empowered how I felt about my life. So I really loved that. So one of the things I really appreciated was when you referenced how our emotions become an alarm to what's going on within. And how can we empower our listeners to not only be aware of those alarms, but to stop neglecting them or bearing them and really use them to help us transition and transform our lives?
This is a fantastic question. And it was really a pivotal moment in my life that many people may not have known. So, first of all, we may not realize that we can become addicted to our emotions of anxiety, fear, hatred, confusion, chaos. We become addicted to them. And when that happens, literally a chemical is released, which brings and fuels on that addiction. And we can be literally driving in a car and suddenly be stopped and have a little bit of traffic coming on. And instead of looking around and thinking about something good, you immediately make it about something bad to fuel that addiction. Like, oh my goodness, that person this or that person that. And we can end up getting to work and our boss looks at us the wrong way. Maybe our boss actually is in a good mood and said, hey, immediately we can look and if we're addicted to those feelings, like I was, of feeling sorry for myself or anxiety or fear of anything like that, we will take it personally. Today I was going for a walk, and we're in spring, so our trees don't have leaves on them. And you could look at it like, oh my goodness, the trees all look ugly and dead. Or you can look at the beauty of, wow, they're about to give, some beauty and birth. So it's really about paying attention to how you feel. And again, back to my acronym, what are you thinking? As soon as you start feeling that little bit of a drop, and I think we all know that feeling, it's almost like a heaviness comes over. I stop myself and ask myself, what am I thinking? And 99.9999% of the time, it is something negative. And using that term, I will reframe what I'm thinking into what I want or something positive.
Nice.
I can go on, but does that kind of give you?
Yeah.
enough?
No, I love that. I love that. Yeah, because I
I
think
keep
for
talking
many
about
of us,
that.
right, those indicators, those markers, those alarms, we also become very patterned and not bringing an awareness to them, thus transforming away from the pattern into something more positive. So I think really something I got out of your book that I loved from the way my brain thinks is an applicable tool to help us go deeper into our own healing and transformation. So thank you for that.
That
Mr.
is
Randy.
great, because that brought me right down to mindset too. So the two
Yeah,
go hand in hand. But Randy,
absolutely.
hi.
Hi. Well, first, I would like to get a copy of your book. So I'm going
Absolutely.
to do that. Just to be transparent, I have not read the book yet. So I guess I have more of a two-tone question for you from author to author. What inspired you to first write the book? And then my second question is, what's some advice that you can give somebody who's maybe on the rocks of wanting to do a book? What advice would you give them?
Nice.
Great, absolutely great question. So to answer the first part, years ago, about 25 years ago, kind of dating myself, this is when everything happened again, when Rob passed away. I don't talk about my childhood in my book, but somebody actually already wrote in their book a little bit about my life story. So from 0 to a certain age, we'll say 25-ish, my life was already in a situation where they wanted to bring some awareness to some things I was going through. Also, I used some energy techniques like Reiki. So they wanted to bring in some different modalities on how I helped myself and my son get through some of the grief and the loss. So I already had that, and everyone kept saying, Christa, you have to write a book. And I was like, I don't want to write a book. And then every time I went to look for a book when I was going through, my crap, honestly, I couldn't find anything that was uplifting. Everything I read ended with something that made me depressed or cry. And the whole thing I would cry through, or I would just feel this heaviness, on me. And I thought there has to be another way. So I did go to a publisher, and for about 4 years was with them, wrote a 350-page, not good book. I was depressed by the time I read it, and I didn't need any help. So I thanked them very much and got out of my contract, and ended up going a different route and writing this book. It's a very lighthearted, short, easy read book, as everyone can testify, because I'm really not a reader. So I wrote it for the non-reader. I've had more actually mails come up to me and say, I never read these kind of books, but giving me all these tips. So for anybody who has and is inspired to write a book, do it, because time is not slowing down. Right now is when you have the memories, you have the insights, and you have the tools, you have the opportunities to speak to family and friends and maybe get some more understanding and insights that you want to write in your book or get help in it. So don't wait. So just start by reaching out to an author, reach out to someone here. There's plenty of things online. If anything, And one thing I did, honestly, is I started talking. I recorded myself in the beginning. I just literally started talking, and that became, started my book. So yeah, definitely start. Time is not standing still.
Cool.
Awesome.
Mr. Buddy, do you have another question for our spotlight author?
Oh, absolutely. I love what everyone is bringing out of the book. It is such first of all, it is a very lighthearted, but you have to get on the roller coaster, and at the beginning of the book, you're going to be on a roller coaster. And I think you define that so well early in the book. But then the nuggets of wisdom that you give people are very, very empowering. I've been asked to do dozens of talks about forgiveness. And so when I came up on what you wrote about forgiveness in the book, it was like, that was very, it was validating, first of all. But I always say that forgiveness doesn't require anything but yourself, and it is for yourself. So why don't you give the audience a little bit of a taste of how you feel about forgiveness, because you write very poignantly about that in the book.
Thank you. I found forgiveness to be definitely a powerful point in my book, because there's been times in my life and times in all of our lives when we've been hurt. And for me, I've held on to the pain. Not only did it consume me mentally to the point of depression, to the point of spiraling down, to the point of not only knowing if I wanted to live. I actually make this comment, and I know it's done in a joking way, but I went through the drive-through and asked for a large coffee with 2 milk and a side of a will to live. And that's literally how I felt, because I let other people have the power. So I started focusing on what was it that was giving them the power. It was me. I was giving the power away. So for me, I got to a point where I realized, actually, I did this to somebody. I got on the phone and I said, first of all, who I was, and I can't get into who it was, but I said, I want you to know that it was your actions, your beliefs, your thoughts that made this occur. And it's no longer going to hold me hostage. I'm no longer going to have to carry this pain. I'm going to release it. And there's this saying that goes, it's like giving somebody poison, or no, drinking poison, expecting the other person to die. That is exactly how it was for me. I was basically drinking poison all the time. And the more and more I would ruminate about all these things that I carried like a suitcase and like a burden. It just kept getting bigger and bigger on me. The more and more poison I felt like I was carrying, and the less I was able to, fulfill my purpose or even be anything in this world. I became feeling like a burden. So I had to get to the point, almost a spiraling down, to becoming able to start forgiving others.
Nice. Really beautiful.
Wow.
Right. I mean, forgiveness is such an empowering act of self-love. And I think it's so important for many of us to really exercise that authority, right? That we get to do that for ourselves, for that reason that you so beautifully put in. I'm going to ask a quick question. It's simple, but I loved this. About 15 years ago, I did this with my then boyfriend and my 2 stepchildren. We were celebrating New Year's Eve, and we had what felt like 1,000 balloons, and we didn't have paper or any way to put anything in a balloon, but I told them to use the power of their mind and to encapsulate a thought for the family, to empower the family as we were venturing on. So when I read this in your book, again, going back to what Randy just asked as an author, to all the people listening that are feeling that they don't have what it takes to read a book, here are authors, and we had something in common that really brought your book into my heart. And this was about the idea of writing poems and placing them in the balloons to let them float away. Where did you discover that yourself? What inspired that? Because I loved it. I just loved the idea of the floating and the lightness and releasing up into the, we did it in a night sky. And so I really felt that in my heart. It's something I experienced. Where did you discover it?
The answer was right there, releasing a lot. I held on to, my name could have been Christa, hold on to everybody else's problems. Christa, hold on to any pain. Christa, you get the idea. So
Yeah.
I held on to everything so much that I had to find a way of releasing it, releasing some of the burdens by forgiving, releasing some of my mind shift by reframing the way I saw things, looking at things from a different perspective, even giving people the benefit of the doubt. I have a whole chapter about that. So that's really what it was about. It was about how to release some of this burden and baggage that I was carrying. Because you know what? It wasn't serving me. And for everybody out there, guess what? It's not serving you. All it's doing is holding you back and holding you down. So by taking any type of action to release any of those feelings, those thoughts will finally break you free to becoming the best version of yourself.
I love that. Thank you.
I'm gonna read. So our beautiful Sinette is her power may be out, but she commented to your comments there that we do give our power away, and her second comment is forgiveness is a key to a new life. So I just want to know she's added that in. I have one comment and one question. I want to tell you, you told a story of you didn't even know it, but you cut a guy off going into a parking space, and he was really kind of nasty to you. And you use something called reframing. And I want to tell you that you illustrated reframing, which is really mindset change, is transformation. And you did it beautifully throughout the book. And I really think that's a very important skill in order to get back up again, in order to appreciate what you have now. And so you did that so beautifully throughout the book. I'm sure it was intentional, but it was really great because I've never seen it put that way. So I just want to give you a big two thumbs up and a
Thank you.
compliment to that.
That's
But
huge. That's huge. Thank
yeah.
you.
Well, again, as an author, you want to impact the reader, and I'm pulling away my takeaways, right? But now I want to know what peels your banana. How are you bringing joy into your life in your own words?
So that's great because I will say this, right? What we're doing here is I'm being seen. I've always been the person behind the person. I've always been the one hiding out. I wasn't, allowed to talk. I was being quieted. When I was born with only 10% hearing. And I had to go to speech language class up until grade 8. And then one of the cool kids saw me with my book and getting called out into class, out of class to go to speech language therapy. And I won't tell the whole story about the church, but she called me out and said, what are you doing? And I was too embarrassed and said, I'm going to basically learn how to talk. But she was making fun of me because, she can't even read. It was focused on what I couldn't read, but it wasn't that. It was me learning how to speak. But to bring this back to your question is only 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with my rare disease. And that's when I ended up spiraling down into a catatonic state, not being able to walk and talk. So I had to relearn those skills. Again, having to relearn how to talk was a really, really big thing for me because I had a lot of guilt and shame. And I was so scared because of having to adjust some of the words that I thought I couldn't say. And because of my disease, sometimes in the beginning, before I learned how to make the connection, something would happen in my brain, but it wouldn't come out of my mouth. So my friend literally said, you're missing about every third or fourth word. So I worked on that because what peels my banana is getting my message out. I don't care anymore about if people are going to judge me. I don't care anymore about feeling embarrassed or becoming vulnerable, because if I can help just one person, then that's what makes it all worth it. So I worked very hard on how to learn how to speak again. And now I became an international speaker. And that's what peels my banana, sharing what I can.
Yeah.
Amen. Beautiful.
Woo!
You are shining brightly. You got it.
Thank you.
Randy, you got another question?
I do, yeah. First and foremost, I'm just honored to be in this chat with you guys, and you definitely are the definition of resilience. It's just an honor to hear your story and your passion and all that. But I would say a question I would have is just, I've had a chance to talk to a lot of authors, and everyone kind of has their own time frame on when their book was completed. I've met authors that maybe completed a book in maybe a couple of weeks, some maybe taking a couple of years, but we all have one thing in common, and that's writer's block. So my question to you is, how did you combat writer's block?
You know, and that happened to me a couple times. It was more than writer's block. It was, oh my goodness, I'm going to write this and someone's going to find out, or someone's going to, judge me on it. And then it became imposter syndrome. Like, who am I to say anything about, whatever? So how to overcome it is I had to literally set myself up for success. So I set myself a schedule. I'm a perfectionist, I will say. So my schedule before would be getting up. I do have a few meditations and morning routines that I do myself, but I immediately want to clean the house and everything because, oh my goodness, if anyone, would drop by and see dishes in my sink, I know they're going to think, I'm a slob. That's what I used to tell myself. So instead of doing this, instead of touching anything in my house, I had to make myself sit down and write a certain amount of words. When I did that, usually it broke through that barrier and I ended up just kind of writing and letting it flow and letting it flow. So anytime I had that writer's block, it was more like writer's resistance for me because again, I had this really big book that I didn't even like. And then I ended up condensing it down to this really short, easy, fun read. So I had to cut out a lot. So I had to learn how to reword it in a way that made it flow nicely and easy to read. So yeah, and keep pushing through. And I absolutely love, Randy, how I literally just met you, but how you stand for I think it's mental illness and suicide prevention. I am all about that, a lot about mental illness. And if I can give a quick shout out, because I'm just restarting involving myself into bringing awareness into rare diseases, because you have no idea the amount of people who are locked up in psych wards right now, who are overly medicated right now, or who are sitting in the corners of the room crying right now and having a Band-Aid approach only because they have some treatable disease, but it's so rare that people don't think to look at it or know about it. So it takes people who haven't and who are dealing with it to speak up about it. So Randy, I also do want to give you some acclimates about bringing awareness to both mental illness and suicide prevention, probably a whole bunch of other things you do. So
yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Nice. Well, I think we should put the shades on, people.
Are we going to shine
And we
brightly?
need to say
Spotlight.
thank you. Spotlight, Miss Christa Rose. Beautiful job. Woo!
Thank you. Complete honor today. Complete honor today.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Laura, Buddy, Howard, and Randy. Truly amazed to be with amongst some of the best.
And our beautiful Sunit, we miss you. We know you're there backstage, hopefully hearing us. Randy, thank you. You're part of the tribe now going forward. Howard, Buddy, Christa, it has been amazing. What a beautiful sharing, Christa, the vulnerability and the resilience. I am sure it has touched many people out there in the audience and will continue to do so. Beautifully written book from your heart, and we all appreciated it. Anybody have anything to say before we go?
So we got next show is going to be Buddy and the Slippery Slope will be in the spotlight. So I'm very excited for that. And I just want to tell you, it's March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. Go get screened if you are 45 years old or have symptoms or family history or you're in the minority communities. This disease is preventable. So please go get screened. That's why I'm in my colorectal cancer blue. That's my ending.
Nice. Beautiful. Awareness, right? Awareness prevents a lot of unnecessary experiences.
Now for the people who come across these these types of programs, if you're wondering what kind of book to pick up, you know what? Pick up a nonfiction anthology, expose, human development. Every time you read about a person who's written something from the heart, you actually learn how to socialize with people better. And that's one of the things that we can do to prevent mental health problems, and we can avoid spiraling down into that suicide ideation, which is something Christa talks about in her book. And Randy and I both fight every day. We fight it every day, and we will continue to fight it every day. But learn to read the kind of books that will inspire you, not the kind of books that will just entertain you.
Yeah, beautifully said, and so important. Wonderful. Well, I think we're all set.
Let's give a big kiss to Sinette, right? 1, 2, 3.
We miss you,
Beautiful, Sinette.
We miss you, but you've done well. You've taught your family well. We've held it down. We steadied the ship, and I think we did an amazing job because we had such a beautiful author in the spotlight. Great questions. Randy, you showed up like a pro, like you've been with us right from the beginning. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you soon.
See you next time.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I think we have to all click off.
Yeah. Leave. You have to hit the leave button.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Bye.
It's upper right. Bye.